I think I'm the last speaker of the session, and it has been a long day. So I'll try to quickly run through my 70 slides. I will try to be short, I was saying, and first of all, let me give you a brief introduction to Oxitec. Probably some of you have already heard about this company. It's originally a spin-off of Oxford in the United Kingdom. But after 20 years of development, this is a company that is present in other countries. Its main biofactory is now in Brazil. It's the only company that has a genetically modified insect in the market with a commercial unrestricted approval. This is in Brazil and now in Paraguay. And it's a company that has published many results already in the scientific literature. And there are other aspects that I'm going to cover in the following slides. But first of all, how our technology works, and I speak about our technology in general because it's a shared platform across different products. What you often see in our products is that they have two transgenes inserted into them. One of them is a marker gene, a fluorescent protein usually. And the other one is what we call a self-limiting gene. The marker gene allows for visualization, identification without using PCR. This is particularly advantageous in field trials. It reduces the costs a lot. And then the self-limiting gene is a gene that when our mosquitoes are released, these are only males. And these males, the second transgene doesn't affect the males, but when inherited to the offspring, the female descendants will not survive to adulthood. So it's a specific killing gene for female descendants of the male mosquitoes that are released, mosquitoes or whatever species that is released. So in practice, the way this works, for instance, now in Brazil, is that the customer may be an individual in his or her home, maybe a company that has a large surface to do mosquito control, or it could be a municipality, a local government. They purchase these boxes. The boxes come with Aedes aegypti eggs and food for the larvae. So the user only has to place the box in a suitable place and add water. So the eggs will start to hatch, and after some time the male mosquitoes will be emerging. This way we have really release method that is very friendly with logistic aspects. So the boxes can be stored for a while before being used. We are transporting dry materials that are non-dangerous, so the boxes can be transported to long distances, stored, and then placed and used. Besides, Oxitec has an app that helps to make a georeferenciation of each box and also to record the moment it was started. So the user knows exactly where the boxes are. If it is a municipality or an user covering great areas, they can quickly find out if they have a blind spot, a spot that is not covered. And besides, they know when to replace the inside of the box, because after 1 month, the contents of the box are replaced with fresh eggs and food for the larvae. The most developed product of Oxitec right now is our Oxitec friendly Aedes aegypti. It comes in two sizes, the box that you saw in the previous pictures, which is bigger, and this relatively smaller box for home use. As I was saying, it's very easy to use. The user only have to add water. It's species specific. This technology, as others that have been described today, can only target and kill its target species, doesn't have any effect on other species. Due to the mechanism that is used to kill the females, this mechanism cannot harm any other species in any other way, so there is no environmental footprint. In Brazil, where the product has been approved already, it's being distributed mostly by big pesticide distributors that are already specialized in vector control products like Rentokil or Ecolab. And there are, in this slide it's been mentioned that there are big companies using it to protect large areas. But also we have individuals, people buying the small boxes for their homes, and municipalities that are using it at least in part of their cities. Here's some Congonhas or Amazonas, some municipalities are being mentioned. And also in Brazil, as I was saying, Oxitec has its main biofactory with a big capacity that is able to deliver the demand of this product for Brazil and still has capacity for producing more. In addition to Brazil, Oxitec is presenting or has presented this product to other countries. In the US, we have conducted field trials, and the information from those field trials, together with the information from Brazil and of course the laboratory studies, are now being considered by the Environmental Protection Agency of that country for the issuance of a commercial approval in the future. There are other countries in which Oxitec is deploying or has applied permission for deploying this technology. For instance, one that can be mentioned is the Marshall Islands, in which now currently Oxitec, after an agreement with the CDC, is helping with vector control efforts regarding Aedes aegypti. So after the field trials performed in 2 countries and the commercial dossiers presented in the countries that are mentioned in these slides and others that I'm not including just because of time, for instance, we have also presented our dossier in Australia recently. This is an overall description of the dossier for these products whose technical name is OX5034. So it's composed broadly of more than 100 different files. There are more than 1,700 pages of data authored by Oxitec, and of course a lot of third-party references that help to justify our analysis, our risk assessments. This includes 28 specific laboratory and field study reports. These field study reports cover 5 years of field trial results across 2 countries, and the whole dossier is the result of a decade of work by over 100 people in the UK, of course, where Oxitec has its headquarters and performs most of the laboratory studies, but also, of course, in the US and Brazil, where the field trials took place. The dossier has been reviewed by more than 1 regulatory agency, so it has been tested against the regulatory requirements. And in addition to all of that, Oxitec also has comparable results obtained with different species in which the same genes were inserted, and some of them were field trials. So we have weight of evidence to add that this technology is robust. It works the same way when put in different contexts. Okay, that was a summary about our flagship or more developed product, the friendly Aedes aegypti. Now we have, I'm briefly going to mention other similar vector control programs. In particular, malaria. Regarding malaria, Oxitec now is developing 2 friendly Anopheles mosquitoes. One of them will be Anopheles albimanus, a friendly Anopheles albimanus, or a genetically modified Anopheles albimanus with the same kind of technology platform that I described before for Aedes. And the other one will be Anopheles stephensi. In both cases, this is a program funded by the Gates Foundation. Anopheles albimanus is being developed for deployment in the Americas, particularly in Central America, where it is the main vector of malaria. And the other species, Anopheles stephensi, it has been mentioned today, its importance, especially because it's an urban vector. And in this case, the first releases are happening now in Djibouti. Besides, Oxitec is now preparing to develop a similar solution for Aedes albopictus, in this case in collaboration with CSIRO, the Australian Research Institution, and to be deployed in potentially in Queensland in the future. In addition to our projects and products for vector control, Oxitec is introducing the same technology platform into agricultural pests. There are several products of this kind under development. I'm going to mention only two of them. In the first slide, we have fall armyworm. So again, the same technology platform introduced into fall armyworm. This is a polyphagous species, so it eats a lot of crops, but particularly maize. It is originally from the Americas, but now it's also present in Africa, in China, and in Australia, for instance. In Brazil, the government also has already approved this product. The Paraguayan government has also recently approved this product. And similarly, after a significant amount of field trials and putting together a dossier like the one we have for the mosquito. The other example I wanted to highlight here is the cattle tick program. Also in this case, with support of the Gates Foundation, Oxitec is introducing this technology into cattle tick. With a view of benefiting farmers in the Americas, in Africa, and in Asia, with the first field trials potentially happening in Africa. Oxitec has now identified 2 countries in Africa which have a combination of this pest being very relevant for the country and also having a regulatory framework that may be able to process the application. The strains are being developed as we speak, so still working on the lab. Maybe 1 year from now, there could be a possibility of beginning with the application for a field trial. And hopefully, I didn't go too fast, but I wasn't very aware of time. And hopefully, this serves for you for more time for questions. Thank you.